Not just out of control.
400 people in Ocean County, New Jersey. Out of control, threatening homes in South Jersey at this hour. The smoke can be seen for miles. Look at this. Chopper 6 was over that fire just a few minutes ago. This is Manchester Township in Ocean County. More than 4,000 acres in the Pine Barrens have been burned already. Efforts to put it out are being hampered by winds which are gusting up to 50 miles an hour right now. 400 residents have been evacuated from parts of Fox Hollow and Wynwood, New Jersey. In addition, Route 539 is closed between Route 70 and 72. The fire is burning on both sides of the highway. Bad situation there. We'll keep following it. Ocean County, New Jersey. Lisa.
Fire burning in New Jersey's Pine Barrens right now. It was spotted at 12:40 this afternoon in Manchester Township, Ocean County, and within a few hours had consumed 15,000 acres, moving into Lacey Township. No homes have been destroyed, but firefighters are battling the elements trying to stop the blaze.
So we have extremely gusty winds, constantly changing directions, and that's what's hampering our firefighting effort.
At one point today, more than 200 residents were evacuated from their homes. Route 539 is closed between Route 70 and 72. The cause of the fire is not yet known, but forestry officials have been warning of extreme fire danger in the Pine Barrens for the last few weeks because of extremely dry conditions.
Driven by high winds, a forest fire fed on the dry timber of New Jersey's pinelands until it was brought under control this morning. The fire has now consumed some 15,000 acres of the Greenwood Forest in Ocean County. That's in Manchester and Lacey Townships. Chopper 6 was also over that scene last night. Now, the blaze was confined to a wildlife management area. About 600 people had to be evacuated from nearby homes yesterday. They did return last night. No homes are reported damaged. The Garden State Parkway also had to be closed in the area last night, but it is open again this morning. Well, the day is done.
It's been labeled suspicious, and arson investigators are probing the scene. 20,000 acres of trees and brush in Ocean, Lacey, and Manchester Townships have burned. The Garden State Parkway has been closed between exit 63 and 74. Governor Whitman toured the area this morning. She thanked the hundreds of firefighters who've been on the scene, many since it started yesterday at noon. Hundreds of people were evacuated from their homes yesterday. They have all since returned. Right now, let's go live to Kathy Gandolfo in Chopper 6. We'll get the latest on the firefighting effort. Kathy, how is it?
Well, the fire is still burning, Mark, and the State Forestry Service says it's contained, but officially it's still not under control. You can take a look out there. As we look out, we can see there is still a lot of smoke. These fires are stubborn. They have plenty of fuel. The wind continues to cause problems, and it's been an exhausting 2 days for firefighters. With smoke still billowing in the distance, some of the 300 firefighters who've been battling this fire took a well-deserved break this afternoon. Most have been out here since yesterday afternoon.
For about 24 hours now, and it hasn't been too bad today. Last night was a little bit hectic, but everything seems to be going all right.
Smoky, hot, tired, hungry.
While every precaution is taken to ensure safety, these forest fires, fueled by stiff winds, are unpredictable. The flames, the clouds of smoke make the whole scene eerie.
It's so fast. By the time you realize what's happening, it's gone. It just jumps up all around you.
That gets scary.
Yes. Yeah, because you never know where it's going to come up.
Well, we're back live over the forest fire that has now claimed 20,000 acres of New Jersey's pinelands here in Ocean County. It appears the fire is of suspicious origin, and I can tell you that while fortunately no homes have been involved in this, have been consumed, this suspicious fire has certainly put hundreds of firefighters and residents in harm's way. Again, still under investigation, believed to be suspicious, but at this point, it is still not under control. Reporting live from Chopper 6 above the forest fire in Ocean County, I'm Kathy Gandolfo. Thank you, Kathy. In Los
Burning out of control. 20,000 acres in Ocean, Lacey, and Manchester Townships burning since noon yesterday. The hundreds of homeowners who were evacuated have been allowed to return, and the fire is not spreading. However, it has not been declared under control. We'll have a live update coming up from the scene on Action News at 6.
Maybe one of them is that forest fire in the Pinelands in New Jersey. It continues to burn tonight, and it's already one of the biggest forest fires in New Jersey history. The blaze has now spread west to Ocean Township. It has already scorched 20,000 acres. and the National Weather Service radar is picking up the plume of smoke a full 20 miles out over the ocean. Now let's go to a live picture from Chopper 6 as almost 300 firefighters continue to battle the blaze. The heavy smoke we mentioned has forced authorities. It did force authorities to close an 11-mile stretch of the Garden State Parkway between exits 63 and 74, but we have now received word that that stretch of Garden State Parkway has been reopened. Officials say the blaze is contained but not under control. Officials continue to say that the dry weather and the high winds are fueling the fire. A fire in 1971 burned 21,000 acres. This blaze is up to 20,000 and still burning. New Jersey correspondent Norma Mushanek ventured into the actual fire zone, and this is what she found.
This is what it looked like on the ground as the huge blaze continued to burn out of control the entire day. It's an inferno that has been labeled by fire officials as suspicious.
We know it was not caused by natural causes. There was no lightning in the area.
Shifting winds made the fire hard to control and hard to fight. Route 532 in Barnegat, Ocean, and Lacey Townships was closed for the day to all but emergency vehicles. This is what it looks like deep in the forest. There are flames, there is choking smoke that makes your eyes water continuously. It's hard to believe the firefighters can work in these conditions.
Very hot. Everything lights up around you, and you always got to watch the other guy's back, your back. Always got to know what's going on, always.
Just when you think you got it, you know, you turn around and start back up again.
It's an adrenaline rush. You keep going on adrenaline. You don't get tired till you stop and go home, then you really get tired.
Governor Christie Whitman toured the fire zone by National Guard helicopter this afternoon, then hit the ground to visit and thank the hundreds of firefighters, some of whom have been on the job since yesterday.
You've worked miracles so far. They're all professionals. It's just some do it for full-time pay and others do it voluntarily, and they've all worked together, coordinated well, and have done a superb job.
There were no evacuations today. To protect the homes threatened by the blaze, firefighters have been digging trenches around the perimeter of many houses. It saved this home, whose occupants were evacuated yesterday.
We just left confident and came back this morning, and our home was still here.
But despite the best efforts of firefighters, 20,000 acres of the pinelands have still been scorched, and the fire continues raging at this hour. I'm Norma Mushanek, Channel 6 Action News in Ocean County, New Jersey.
The septic
Calm, South Jersey firefighters say they can keep things under control on the pinelands. A fire that blackened 20,000 acres of Ocean County woodlands was contained last night. For the second straight day, the Garden State Parkway was closed in the area as flames got close to the road. However, it is open again this morning. Earlier yesterday, Governor Christie Whitman visited the scene to comfort residents and to personally thank firefighters. It is now long as the weather cooperates. A forest fire that blackened 20,000 acres was officially declared controlled last night. And last night, firefighters declared conditions once again safe for area residents.
The structures right now are safe, providing we don't get any strong winds.
During the day yesterday, Governor Christie Whitman visited the fire scene. She thanked firefighters personally for a job well done. With no lightning strikes in the area, the blaze is still considered suspicious. Police
are now under control, and it should be finally out later tonight. Officials say they found the place where the fire started in Woodland Township, but they aren't prepared to say if it was started by accident or on purpose. They do say it was not started by nature, no lightning or anything like that. In any case, 20,000 acres of pines were destroyed in 3 townships in Ocean County. Hundreds of firefighters finally managed to control it. The 20,000-acre fire in Ocean County was declared under control at 9 this morning, and within the next few hours, any remaining hotspots should be put out. Officials say they've located the origin of the fire, but they've not yet determined if it was set intentionally or accidentally. Several hundred firefighters were involved in the 2-day effort to control that blaze.
3,000 acres have been scorched by that fire in the New Jersey pinelands, and the situation is still not officially under control. New Jersey correspondent Norma Mushanek has the details.
These aren't clouds. They're more of the thick, billowing smoke that's covered the pinelands for the last 3 days, as seen from a New Jersey Forest Fire Service helicopter. Although it's been declared under control, the 20,000-acre fire continues to burn, and officials say it will do that for several days.
There's a lot of unburned ground in the middle of the fire, and that's going to burn for a long time.
As you can see from the air, the fire burns in strips, leaving lines of untouched acreage in between.
That unburned area is what you see burning now. There's no
danger to anyone. We do have crews in there standing by watching it burn, but we're going to let the fire burn itself out.
Meanwhile, investigators have located the point of origin for this suspicious fire near a sandy road in Manchester Township and say they've collected some evidence at the scene. Whether it started intentionally or naturally, a fire can be a big part of the life cycle of a forest. Take, for instance, these pine cones. The intense heat from the flames makes these pop open. Their seeds fall to the ground and new trees grow.
The New Jersey Pine Barrens probably has about a 10,000-year history of fires and burning over.
Ironically, while the Pinelands blaze is still roaring, 19 New Jersey firefighters were honored at a ceremony today by the U.S. Forest Service.
Thank the state of New Jersey for all their assistance.
The Garden State firemen traveled out west last summer to help battle the wildfires blazing in several states. There was little time to savor their award, however. The focus now is keeping the fire here contained. I'm Nora Mushanek, Channel 6 Action News, Ocean County, New Jersey.
In almost 25 years is finally under control. Investigators suspect this fire was the work of an arsonist. They're searching for clues tonight, but as Rich Maneri reports, there is satisfaction of a job well done and a much-deserved rest for the firefighters who battled this blaze.
The fire that blackened almost 20,000 acres of New Jersey pinelands still burns, but after a brutal 2-day battle, it is finally under control.
Our lines are all established. They're holding. Everything appears to be safe. Congratulations. Thank you, Commissioner.
In an ironic bit of timing, New Jersey firefighters were honored today for their help in fighting wildfires in the western U.S. last summer. As they stood at this morning's ceremony, many of these men had just spent 30 straight hours fighting the Pinelands fire, like 20-year veteran Jim Garthis, who has learned how to battle fatigue.
But as long as the fire is growing on you, there's no way you can just say, I'm too tired, I'm going to go home. You got to stay there and do what you can do.
The firefighters honored today say they don't consider themselves heroes, just ordinary people doing a job they love, because there's nothing quite like jumping on the back of one of these trucks and going into battle.
It's just a natural high. Anybody who gets excited over, there must be something that excites everybody in their life, and whatever that is, you just multiply it by 10, and that's what it's like on the back of one of these trucks riding in on one of these fires.
You don't get exhausted. Time just flies, and you don't realize how much time you've been there, and you know you got to keep going, and you just keep going, and once the fire sort of calms down a little bit, then you have time to get tired.
Firefighters used backfires and water drops to contain this week's Ocean County fire, but whatever your tools, the dangers of the job are very real.
I wouldn't want to be on a truck with someone who isn't scared, because they got to be conscious of the fact that, things do happen out there.
This fire did not destroy property or kill people, only because of the work of some 300 firefighters. Once again, they gladly put themselves in the eye of the storm. In Ocean County, Rich Maneri, the 10 o'clock news.
Dead. But surprisingly, the blaze left behind an abundance of life. As Jacqueline Bolden explains, the fire is exactly what the forest needed.
Fire can destroy the beauty of a forest, but some naturalists say fire in the Pine Barrens is necessary to maintain the balance.
The ideal scenario is to have a fire come through like every 20 or 30 years. That's the ideal scenario. If it comes through more often, which in some areas it does, you just don't have mature vegetation.
Sally Price of the Pinelands Preservation Alliance says the pitch pine, which gives the Pine Barrens its name, is very dependent on fire to survive. Fire gives the pine a fighting chance against the other dominant tree, the oak.
But under every single one of these is a little tiny seed, much like what a maple tree has, that little helicopter, the little whirly, twirly thing. They're very, very tiny. And when the pitch pine cone opens and it releases those seeds, they float down to the forest floor, and they don't stand a chance competing with that acorn.
But the fire burns off the ground cover, the dead leaves, and the acorns, and the fragile seeds of the pitch pine can now grow. This is what the naturalists are talking about. A few years ago, fire raced through this section of the Wharton State Forest, scorching the ground cover and the trees. Now, these young pine trees are flourishing. The heat of the fire also forces the pine cones to open, sending their seeds on their way. So one day after fire has blackened the ground and seemingly killed the forest, the seeds of the future Pine Barrens are already being planted. In Burlington County, Jacqueline Bolden, the 10 o'clock news.
Wildfire that burned through the Pinelands was deliberately set. The fire is now officially under control. Fire officials say, though, you will still see some flames and smoke, and there are hot spots. However, there's little risk of a flare-up at this point. It will take a very good rain or a lot of water from firefighters to put the remaining hot spots completely out. 6:37, let's check the AccuWeather story. It was supposed